You're here, I'm Queer, and welcome back to my channel. Before we start this marvelous transformation, I would like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online community that offers more than 25,000 classes that is taught by expert creators. These classes range from visual arts, business, music, and so much more, all for less than $10 a month. For you, my excellent subscribers, the first 500 to use the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial, so off to the races! As the title says, I will be making Amazon, the Princess Aurora of Themyscira. You're probably so confused right now, I know, but yes, this is an amalgamation of Storm from the X-Men and Wonder Woman from the Justice League. This amalgamation was made possible by Amalgam Comics in 1996, and it was co-published by Marvel and DC. I guess it's true that peace never really lasts. This presented so many character amalgamations like Super Soldier, White Witch, Spider-Boy, and Dark Claw. So pretty much just really overpowered characters. I chose Amazon because I love Storm and Wonder Woman. They were really my go-to heroes when I was growing up. Amazon, or Princess Aurora of Themyscira, was actually saved by the Queen Hippolyta when she almost drowned at sea because of Poseidon. Queen Hippolyta raised Aurora in the island of Themyscira alongside her daughter Diana, which became her rival. As she grew older, her meta-mutant powers started to develop and she was able to control the forces of nature. So as you can see, having a natural magical abilities with the Amazonian training, she is just an incredible hero. And also, this is actually a part of a marvelous collaboration with these amazing artists. So make sure to check out 10 Dance, Anastazia Custom, Créatures de Lau, Doll Mill, AllyKazaamm, Dollumentary, HLE Crafts, Kyros Workshop, MyMiniMon, Skeriosities, the Dolly Geek, the Doll Fairy, and Tiamat Creations. I'll have all of their links down below. So I've made Storm before with an Ever After High doll, but this time I wanted to be close to the comic book as much as possible. So for Amazon, I will be using the Mountain Climber Made to Move Barbie. I did a quick repaint over her factory paint for an Instagram post before, and I know some of you guys might have seen it. But now it's time for a complete makeover. Since it is a made-to-move body, it is very straight and it doesn't really have a shape to it. So I will be taking my saw to split her torso in half and give her a little hourglass shape. Just a little bit, you know? Using my epoxy sculpt, I'm gonna give back some flesh. This won't be a drastic Birdine body, like it's literally not an hourglass, just a little shape to mirror how she is portrayed in the comics. Then, using my concoction of acrylic paints, I try to match and blend her skin tone. And now that's done, let's wait for it to dry and move on to her head. She has this beautiful set of afro that I love so much, but Amazon has long white hair, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. Using a pair of pliers, I removed the remaining hair from the neck hole. Now let's also remove her factory paint using my tried and true acetone, but you can always use a nail polish remover if it has acetone in it. Now that we have a clean canvas, let's start rebooting her. I'm using brushed out yarns for her hair. I love yarns because they actually look like human hair on a doll scale, and for this specific one, I made sure not to overbrush it to retain some wavy textures and also length. I just take my rerouting tool and I pluck it one by one. I start with the perimeter of her scalp and work my way in. Since these are very thick, I don't pluck every single hole because you don't want it to be too much, you know? Oh, and I also forgot to paint her scalp white to blend the hair, so we're gonna do that now. After we're done, I take my Fabri-Tac and I squeeze that in her head to hold all of the yarn plugs together. Now we're done with Amazon's hair, we can finally move on to her face up. I put her hair up in a cute bun for now and I wrap her up to protect her from the Mr. Super Clear. She literally looks like Angela Bassett as Marie Laveau here. Like, oh my gosh, I am freaking out. I've been saying that Angela Bassett should portray Storm in the future, like, she can do it. So after 2 coats of Mr. Super Clear, I take my watercolor pencils to sketch out her face. I use a caramel color pencil so that it's easy to erase when we make mistakes, and trust me, I make a lot. I actually wanted to give her some irises and pupils, but I decided to go with the iconic comic book Storm with pure white eyes. Then I add colors in the same exact layer to build up the opacity. I also add chalk pastels for her blush and also contouring. Storm usually has black eyebrows, sometimes white, so we're going with white. I really want her eyes to pop, that's why. Her eye makeup will be pretty simple, at least for my standard. I'm just going to give her a smoky cat eye with pastels. Using pastels to give it a more softer and subtle approach. Now let's add our black eyeliner. Make sure it is sharp enough to slay the enemies. Also, let's not forget to add some nostril details. Now let's just go ahead and repeat the steps maybe like 4 to 5 times. I decided I want her eyelid to mirror her armor, so I painted it with gold acrylic paint. I'm also contouring her nose just for definition. And now it's time for lashes. I just use Elmer's Glue All and individual fake human lashes. While those dry, I gloss up her lips with Sculpey Glaze. Now let's wait for her face to set and let's work on her outfit. And this is where the Wonder Woman comes in. I had this made by dolluxedesigns, of course, on Instagram, and as always, Heather comes through with the execution. As you can see, it goes below her bust because I didn't want any of the red to actually peek out when we add the armor. Using tape to measure, I sketch out the breastplate and I fold it in half to mirror it. Then I also sketch out her belt. Using a thicker pleather fabric as a base, I traced and sketched out the designs and I cut it out. When you have the pieces ready, I take this gold stretchy fabric and I glued the white pleather to the back of it. This is actually the main color that we need, obviously, gold, but I wanted the 3D look of the pleather fabric. I wanted it to have some thickness. Then her breastplate actually has the iconic Wonder Woman symbolism, so I just add the gold fabric on top of it. Now that we have the main armor done, let's work on her boots. I'm using these Barbie Model Muse pumps because they are so high and pointy. I mean, in terms of Barbie shoes, they are literally sickening. And then I take this red patent pleather and I wrap it around her legs. I then sew it as tight as I can. I know, brace yourselves and gird your loins, I'm sewing again. I sew it until I reach her ankle and I cut the excess, leaving the foot area. This is the same exact method I did actually for Kirsty's boots. Let's turn it inside out and put it back on her. And you should have a clean leg boot and a flapping excess fabric by the foot area. Now let's put on her pumps and slowly super glue the fabric to the pumps. I use a gel super glue so it doesn't really bleed onto the doll's foot. But make sure to be very careful, work very slow, and make sure to work in sections. I usually leave the heel part, but now that we're done, we can actually finally trim off the excess fabric completely. You should have a clean boot that is pointy and removable. I just give her heels a coat of red acrylic paint, and of course, Amazon will be rocking the famous Louboutin red soles. While that dries, let's work on the armor part of her boots. I just do the same exact technique I did for her body armor, then we can just glue that onto the edges of her boots. And now the boots are completed. For her star-spangled shorts, I used these star studs I got from Walmart. The white ones are the smallest and they are actually the perfect size. I wanted to mimic a rare metallic look for the stars and I just didn't want to paint it on. For her bracelets, I used this extra pair from the latest Wonder Woman doll, and I just painted more metallic silver despite it looking the same exact color on the camera. Trust me, it's a little more metallic, and I went over it with a darker one to show some age. Then I decided to add some arm cuffs to hold her cape using the same pleather, and I painted gold this time so it wouldn't be too bulky. For her crown, the techniques remains exactly the same with her body armor, and again I'm using the white star stud, but this time I painted it red. The red star would have been perfect, but it's actually really big, it's big. I thought her neck area looked too bare, and I thought that maybe adding a neck armor would mirror the uniforms from Wakanda. You know, we gotta represent some Wakanda into Storm because she is the future wife of T'Challa, Black Panther. I painted her nails gold to channel Zeus's lightning easier. Oh my god. Now let's make it look like she actually uses her uniform and that it wasn't from Party City. Let's give it that DC grit. I feel like anything DC is always darker, so let's do that with Amazon. My favorite part of any Storm look is her cape, and I don't know why the live-action movies be giving her these napkin capes. Like, I'm not having it. They look like tissues, they look like toilet papers behind her. They're not big enough, so this is gonna be big, and it's gonna be grand, and it is definitely fit for a weather goddess and a Themyscira princess. She retains the color black from the classic Storm, and for the gold trimmings, I just use acrylic paint. Now that we're done, let's put her together. For her earrings, I take these real star earrings and I paint it red. I think I got it from H&M or something. For her lasso, I went for a chain look instead of a rope. Apparently, Amazon actually just channels lightning and uses that and weaves it as her rope, and then, you know, to compel people to tell the truth. But in my storyline, she's using chain so that it channels the lightning through it. You know, I like the chain. I like the chain look. It makes it look a little better. It moves. I like the chain. And now we're done. Start learning new skills at Skillshare today. Like I said, only the first 500 people to sign up from the link below will get a 2-month free trial. You'll get the overall access and experience, so you guys have no excuses. Personally, I use Skillshare to learn more about drawing on my iPad with Procreate. It was so hard for me to get into drawing with the iPad since it's really intimidating, but the courses in Skillshare really made it easier. The classes I took was roughly an hour and it was separated in parts, so with your 2-month free trial, you can learn so much. Like I said, no excuses. So definitely check out Skillshare to keep your creative juices running, and if you enjoy it, it is less than $10 a month after your 2-month free trial, so don't wait and sign up today!
Amazon! They are coming! Winter is coming!
Not on my watch. What are those things?
Walkers. They are white walkers, Diana.
Go and protect the villages. Consider this done. You dare challenge the princes of Themyscira? I may treasure peace, but I'm very good at making war. Do you prefer your defeat by lightning or sword? I I call upon the power of nature herself. Winds! By the power of Gaia! By the power of the wind!